How did a failed dating site become the second most visited website in the world?
Today, YouTube is the second most visited website on the planet, valued in the billions. But its story actually starts in 2005 as a desperate experiment run out of a tiny, rat-infested office by founders on the edge of bankruptcy. To understand how they ended up there, we have to look back to 1999. This is Steve Chen. At the time, he was an early employee at PayPal, and he spent his lunch breaks talking about the evolution of the internet and dreaming of building his own company to strike it rich. He found two perfect partners in his PayPal colleagues. This is Chad Hurley, who, along with friend Jawed Karim, completed a trio of ambitious engineers. Everything changed in 2002 when eBay acquired PayPal. Take a look at this lifeless corporate hallway. It captures exactly what the company culture turned into. The exciting startup energy vanished, replaced by an unbearable, boring corporate grind. Desperate to escape the corporate monotony, the trio decided to gamble their time and energy on a wild new internet trend. At the time, a website called Hot or Not was gaining massive traction by letting people rate photos of strangers. The founders decided to build a video-based version of it. They called it YouTube, and they gave it a very specific slogan: tuning, hook up. If you sat down at a bulky desktop PC like this on Valentine's Day in 2005, you could witness the official launch. The UI, or user interface, meaning the layout of buttons and menus on the screen, allowed you to specifically search for videos of men or women based on their age range. But there was one massive problem. The site was a ghost town. Absolutely nobody was uploading dating videos. The founders were so desperate for activity that they went onto Craigslist and offered to pay women $20 just to upload a single video of themselves. Even with cash on the table, they got zero takers. Months of grueling, sleepless coding had resulted in a product that the internet completely ignored. It appeared the entire project was a failure. But then, a strange anomaly appeared on the back end of the site. People were actually uploading files, but they had absolutely nothing to do with dating. Instead, the servers were filling up with clips of snowboarding falls, trips to the zoo, and random cat videos. The founders realized their users didn't want a matchmaking service. People had digital cameras full of clips, and they simply needed a digital storage locker for the files sitting on their hard drives. Seeing this behavior, the team made it a sharp pivot. They scrapped the tune-in hookup dating angle entirely and rebuilt YouTube as a generic database for sharing any type of video. In 2005, sharing video was a nightmare. Incompatible formats and slow internet created massive friction. They fixed this using Flash Player, a plugin converting every video into one standard format, compressing files to stream instantly. To share, you just sent a simple link. That single feature triggered a snowball effect. Someone would upload a universally funny clip, and a viewer could immediately share that link with all their friends. Then, those links started hitting MySpace, the largest social network on the internet at the time. When users began embedding YouTube links directly into their MySpace profiles, it poured absolute gasoline on the viral fire. The metrics exploded. Site traffic rocketed from 30,000 daily visitors to millions, as early viral hits like David After Dentist and Evolution of Dance spread across the web. Removing that technological friction turned YouTube into a self-sustaining engine. Every viral hit brought in new viewers, who then immediately began uploading their own videos. But inside that cramped office above the pizza shop, the founders weren't celebrating. They were panicking. Take a look at this cold, imposing server room. Early internet startups faced a lethal hidden enemy: bandwidth. Bandwidth is the total amount of data transmitted over an internet connection, and hosting millions of large video files requires a massive, incredibly expensive physical infrastructure. When they first launched, Steve Chen hired a hosting company called ServerBeach, securing a deal, a flat rate of $129 a month for unlimited bandwidth. As soon as the viral hits started piling up, ServerBeach realized their unlimited plan was a massive mistake. They revoked the deal and demanded YouTube start paying proportionally for the massive volume of data they were actually using. This exposed a catastrophic flaw in the company's model. YouTube had millions of daily viewers, but they ran zero advertisements and had absolutely no plan for generating revenue. It was a twisted paradox. The explosive growth that validated their dream was actively accelerating their path toward absolute financial ruin. The team frantically pitched to venture capitalists, but investors universally rejected them. They looked at the staggering bandwidth costs and concluded that video hosting was a bottomless money pit with no viable way to make money. With nearly 1 million visitors hitting the site every day, ServerBeach started aggressively billing for the bandwidth. Every one of those viral video views translated to real charges hitting Steve Chen's personal MasterCard, draining thousands of dollars a month. Sitting in the dark, staring at towering digital invoices, Steve realized his personal finances were entirely destroyed. The company was completely unsustainable. The clock was running out. Unless they could find an investor willing to front millions of dollars in a matter of days, their runaway success was going to bankrupt them entirely, and the site would be forced to go dark forever. The turning point arrived almost entirely by accident. Co-founder Jawed Karim attended a barbecue where he ran into an old colleague from PayPal. The colleague had recently gotten married and was frustrated that he couldn't find a way to share his honeymoon videos with his family. This chart shows the company's sudden rescue. That colleague happened to work for Sequoia Capital, a massive venture capital firm. Impressed by the platform's utility, Sequoia agreed to invest $3.5 million into YouTube in November 2005. This influx of cash allowed them to upgrade their servers and hire actual employees, cramming the growing team into a tiny rat-infested office above a pizzeria. Sequoia's money saved them from financial ruin, but by proving that a video sharing site could attract real funding, they drew the attention of much larger predators. In December 2005, YouTube officially launched out of its beta phase. The celebration lasted less than a few weeks before a coordinated corporate attack struck the platform. At the time, early viral videos gained traction mostly by being shared on MySpace. Realizing YouTube was siphoning away their users' attention, MySpace retaliated. They began shadow banning YouTube, quietly blocking and censoring links to the site, and launched their own native video player. This map shows the 2005 internet ecosystem. The threat extended past MySpace. Giants like Google, Yahoo, and Facebook were simultaneously circling the video sharing market, eager to claim it for themselves. The resource disparity was staggering. YouTube was outgunned, outfunded, and seemingly doomed by a siege from the most powerful companies on the web. Conventional business logic dictated that YouTube should have died right here, easily crushed by the established gatekeepers of the early internet. But YouTube survived, thanks to a single small UI update pushed by the founders. This diagram illustrates the effect of the new subscribe button. By allowing viewers to follow specific channels, the site shifted from a passive video database to an active, loyal community. This choice allowed ordinary people to build dedicated audiences straight from their bedrooms. The result was explosive organic growth. As these independent communities multiplied, they generated a self-sustaining loop of viewers returning daily for their favorite personalities. This produced the first wave of digital celebrities, names like Smosh, the vlogger iJustine, and Lonely Girl 15. These creators were the early proof of the creator economy, a system where an individual, not a studio executive, owns the direct relationship with the audience. MySpace's shadow ban failed because the subscribe button had transferred power from corporate monopolies directly to a decentralized, highly engaged army of creators. But the massive scale achieved by the creator economy had an unintended side effect. It created an environment that was impossible to police. This chart tracks the data surge. Users were uploading 65,000 videos daily. The small manual moderation team trying to approve files was completely paralyzed. Alongside homemade vlogs, users began uploading pirated movies, television shows, and copyrighted music. The mainstream media quickly realized the threat. Publications like Newsweek explicitly dubbed YouTube the Napster of video, highlighting how the platform enabled massive intellectual property theft. The founders had built an empire, but it was exposed. Without an automated algorithm to find copyrighted material, the platform was essentially operating on stolen content. The traditional media elite struck back, starting with a barrage of lawsuits from all three major record labels. The situation escalated when millions of users watched a pirated Saturday Night Live skit. In response, media giant Viacom prepared a $1 billion legal strike. These were not standard corporate disputes. They were targeted legal missiles designed to sue the platform into oblivion. Google's $1.65 billion acquisition in late 2006 functioned as an emergency cash injection for a company that was, for all intents and purposes, insolvent. Google immediately deployed a technological countermeasure called Content ID. This system scans user uploads against a database of copyrighted material, instantly recognizing identical audio or video signatures. Instead of issuing lawsuits to take these videos down, copyright holders could choose to track them and redirect any advertising revenue they generated back to the original owners. By offering the major studios a cut of the profits, Google inverted the economic logic of the internet. They transformed the victims of piracy into active financial partners. With legal threats managed, Google needed a way to populate the site with high-quality, non-pirated content. However, they lacked the budget or desire to pay professional production studios for it. The 2007 YouTube Partner Program introduced a new mechanism of direct payment, awarding amateur creators a specific percentage of the ad revenue their videos earned. This profit-sharing model bypassed traditional Hollywood gatekeepers entirely. Now anyone with a webcam and an internet connection could reach a global audience. This created an immediate psychological shift. Users began to realize that their casual digital hobbies could be scaled into full-time, highly lucrative careers. This single shift in the revenue algorithm ignited the multi-billion-dollar creator economy, weaponizing individual ambition to scale the platform's library for free. Almost overnight, entirely new entertainment genres exploded online, like gaming commentary, detailed makeup tutorials, and daily vlogs. Formats that television networks had deemed too niche were drawing millions of daily viewers. This era produced the platform's first generation of digital megastars, individuals who built massive global audiences while working almost exclusively from their bedrooms. This new elite class proved that anyone, regardless of their professional background, could become a highly paid mogul within the digital ecosystem. These creators operated with total independence. They answered directly to their subscribers, functioning without the oversight or the safety nets of a traditional studio. YouTube had decentralized the production of entertainment, but by doing so, the company successfully shifted all of its production risks and overhead costs onto a massive, ununionized public. Tying creativity to a financial algorithm had a dark side. Creators quickly learned that because raw click volume translated directly into cash, the content itself was secondary to the thumbnail. The platform fell into a clickbait plague. Creators began to actively lie and manipulate imagery to trick users into clicking on low-effort, low-value videos. As users felt increasingly deceived, trust in the platform plummeted. Mainstream advertisers, fearing their brands were being associated with trash, threatened a total boycott. The very financial incentive designed to save YouTube was now rotting the user experience from the inside out. To prevent an advertiser exodus, Google scrambled to engineer a way to kill the clickbait model without losing the users. They rewrote the algorithm's core metric, shifting the reward mechanism away from raw clicks to prioritize watch time above all else. This forced creators to adapt instantly, giving rise to long-form documentaries, video essays, and 3-hour podcasts to maximize user attention. The machine stopped rewarding those who shouted the loudest and began rewarding those who could keep a viewer's eyes glued to the screen for the longest duration. This focus on retention turned the platform into an endless feedback loop, where the system learned to prioritize whatever kept a user online over what they actually intended to watch. In doing so, YouTube successfully built a machine capable of hijacking human psychology, prioritizing the platform's survival over the user's.
For the first time, YouTube's creator economy was in danger.
This graph shows the exact moment YouTube's financial foundation began to crater. Between the years 2016 and 2017, the world's largest brands, including AT&T and Verizon, pulled their advertising budgets after finding their content appearing alongside extremist and violent videos. To stop the bleeding, YouTube executives deployed a sweeping automated system to enforce strict advertiser-friendly standards. This algorithm was designed to sanitize the entire platform through aggressive, high-speed filtering. The results were devastating for the community. Overnight, thousands of innocent creators saw their income vanish as the system demonetized channels without warning, stripping away the livelihoods of people who had done nothing wrong. In this moment of existential threat, the platform's priorities became clear. To ensure its own survival, YouTube would protect corporate ad revenue, even if it meant sacrificing the creators who built the site. The crisis intensified as individual stars drew massive mainstream media heat. PewDiePie, the platform's most subscribed creator, faced intense condemnation for including anti-Semitic jokes and imagery in his uploads. Platform negligence reached a breaking point when the algorithm actively pushed a vlog by Logan Paul, featuring a body found in Japan's Aokigahara forest, directly to the trending page, serving it to millions of young viewers. At the same time, the Ellsgate scandal revealed that disturbing, algorithmically generated videos were bypassing filters to reach children on the supposedly safe YouTube Kids app. When investigators then discovered predator rings operating in the comment sections of family videos, YouTube executed a total shutdown. They disabled comments on all children's content and purged thousands of channels in a massive, uncompromising sweep. These scandals effectively ended the era of the unmoderated, Wild West internet. Survival now required a regime of aggressive censorship and unforgiving algorithmic control. By 2018, YouTube attempted to project a hyper-sanitized image to appease nervous advertisers. They released their annual Rewind video, but instead of focusing on native creators, they filled the screen with safe, mainstream celebrities like Will Smith and Trevor Noah. The community's response was a visceral rejection. Viewers felt that the platform's own culture was being erased in favor of a corporate-approved version of reality that ignored the actual trends of the year. This diagram visualizes the sheer scale of the revolt. Rewind 2018 didn't just fail, it became the most disliked video in the history of the internet, with users turning the dislike button into a tool for collective protest. This mass dissatisfaction highlighted a new structural problem. The platform had become so massive and its interests so divided that satisfying nervous advertisers, independent platform creators, and billions of viewers simultaneously was a zero-sum game. In 2020, a new external threat arrived. TikTok's highly addictive short-form model began capturing the attention of a younger generation at a speed no other app had ever matched. This shift in how people consumed video threatened to render YouTube's long-form dominance obsolete, potentially pulling away its core viewer base and its most valuable advertisers. YouTube responded by aggressively pivoting its own product. In 2021, they launched YouTube Shorts, pushing the new vertical format to the front of the app and forcing it into the daily habits of billions of users. The strategy held the line. Current data reveals that Shorts now generates 200 billion views every single day, successfully neutralizing TikTok's momentum within the YouTube ecosystem. This success demonstrates YouTube's primary survival mechanism, a total willingness to mutate its own identity, to destroy any competitor that threatens its dominance. Approaching its 20th anniversary in April 2025, YouTube has fully matured into an omnipresent media ecosystem. The era of the simple video sharing website has been replaced by a professionalized global infrastructure. The scale of the system is now difficult to fathom. 20 million new videos are uploaded every single day, expanding a library that currently holds more than 20 billion individual pieces of content. This growth has changed what it means to be a creator. The biggest names on the platform, like MrBeast, are no longer individuals with webcams. They are multi-million-dollar production companies with massive staffs and industrial-scale budgets. This chart marks YouTube's final victory over the old guard. According to Nielsen data, YouTube has officially overtaken traditional broadcast television to become the #1 streaming platform on American living room screens. The amateur creator has been assimilated. In their place stands a hyper-professionalized corporate broadcasting industry that effectively functions as the new television. To maintain this empire, YouTube has distributed over $100 billion to its creators and media partners in just the last 4 years, creating a financial gravity that keeps the entire industry locked into its system. Alphabet's financial reports illustrate this explosive growth. Advertising revenue climbed from $36 billion in 2024 to over $40 billion in 2025. When combined with revenue from 125 million paid subscribers, total annual income shattered the $60 billion mark in a single year. These figures represent the successful weaponization of the creator economy. YouTube provided the financial architecture to turn amateur content into a legitimate, high-revenue global economic sector. But as the empire reaches its peak, a new question emerges. Now that YouTube has conquered human attention, what happens to its creators when AI algorithms can generate infinite, optimized content without them?
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We explore the rise, fall, and hidden stories behind the world's biggest companies.